Fall is here. As you can see, I got my sweater on, even though I do live in Florida. It's gotten a little chilly for me at least, which means we're in the peak of bourbon season. I mean, this is just my favorite time of year to drink bourbon. And so I stocked up in the past month. It was unusual. It's not every month isn't like that. I feel like I've said that a couple times now, but let's get right into it. October was the month of Blantons for me. I found so much Blantons. I found 5 bottles of Blantons in total. So I got just a normal Blantons, right? So this was the Total Wine. When you're a Grand Reserve member, they have a lottery. And I was kind of disappointed actually because I wanted Michter's 10 and some others. And yeah, I always just win the Blantons with the Total Wine lottery. And their prices are a little high. They charge $80 for a normal Blantons, which is about the most that I want to pay for it. But I got that from the lottery. Then a couple weeks later, I got another email. And they're like, surprise, we have another Blantons for you. And so come get it if you want it. Again, $80. And of course, I mean, anytime I can get a Blantons for about 50 to 80 bucks, I'm just going to get it. I am. I like Blantons. I don't love how hard it is to find. I don't love the secondary prices, but for $50, $60, oh man, it's a great bourbon and the bottle's amazing. And who doesn't want the horse toppers? But I also found, I went to Sam's Club. Believe it or not, I went to Sam's Club, walked in, they had one case of Blanton sitting on a pallet. They didn't even have it out yet. And I was like, oh my God, I walked over and looked inside and somebody had already taken 3 of them. But Sam's Club doesn't have a limit one, which they should. All places for something like Blanton should have a limit one. But they didn't, and it was $50 plus tax. And so if you're gonna sell me 3 Blantons for 50 bucks, I'm gonna buy them. So I kept 2 for myself and I gave a buddy 1. But the real star of the show, I stopped by Winn-Dixie just randomly one evening, and I walk in, I look behind the counter, and there's a Blanton's. Like, oh, okay, cool. Looked at the price, $160. That's expensive, but Winn-Dixie doesn't do secondary pricing. They're a big chain. I looked a little closer, and it was a Blanton straight from the barrel. I could not believe it. I've never seen one in the wild, definitely don't have one. Obviously an instant buy. I know that's expensive, but come on. It's a different buy. Look at this. Comes in the leather case. That's kind of nice, a little different. The topper's a little different shade. What letter is it? It's an N. So I got 2 of the same N's here recently. But I just am so excited to have a Blanton straight from the barrel. I've heard this is maybe one of the best ones. I don't know. I know everybody's conflicted on which one they like more. I know people like gold, people like regular. I like regular, but I'm never going to pass up an opportunity to buy a Blanton straight from the barrel, especially for retail or give or take. I mean, I think it usually retails like $150. Like I said, I think this was $160, which I couldn't believe it. So proof on this is 129.5. This will be a special occasion pour because I don't know if I'll ever see another one of these. But I was glad that I got lucky. In fact, I asked the guy, I'm like, how long has this bottle been here? He said a couple days. That didn't make any sense to me. But I will be checking out that store more often because apparently bourbon hunters like me are not checking in there if this was sitting on the shelf for more than about 20 minutes. So excited to have this bottle. Next up, my dad recently returned from a trip to Colorado. And it was so nice of him. He's in Colorado and he thought, you know what, I'm gonna look for some Colorado bourbon for my son, which was awesome. So shout out to my dad. So he got me a Cask strength Laws. This is a 4-grain straight bourbon, 114.4 proof. He knows that I like the higher proof bourbons. This is all made in apparently Denver, Colorado. So distilled, aged, and bottled by Laws Whiskey House in Denver. So I've never had one of these. I'm excited to try that. And then he also found Lock & Co. Aspen aged rye. So they don't actually distill their own here. This is actually a blended rye. I don't see these down here, I don't think, and I've heard good things, and it's 90 proof. It was recommended to him by a shop owner. He told him a little bit about me, and that's what he recommended. So shout out to my dad again for picking me up some very thoughtful and interesting and unique bottles that I am excited to try. My favorite liquor store here in town, shout out to Bill and Lisa. They put on a great free event. It was super fun. They had a chef come out and roast a pig, and it was just free food and sides, and the Templeton distributors came. They brought 4 bottles for everybody to taste and try, and it was just a great turnout, a great event. The weather was perfect. It was a lot of fun. They had a store pick that I picked up, of course. It was delicious. I'm not going to pass on a great store pick. And then they also had this 2023 barrel strength limited release that was also delicious. And this one came in at 55 bucks. I think the store pick was 45, 50 bucks, something like that. Both were very good. I liked them a lot. and got some swag out of it too, and just had a great time and a great event. So shout out again, Seville, for putting on and hosting a super fun event and picking a great bottle of rye whiskey that I very much enjoyed and looking forward to crack open and share with friends. All right, next I've got some Bardstown Origin Series bourbon whiskey. I just killed this, the Origin Series Black Label bottled in bond. This is a wheated bourbon. It is very good, especially for the price. It's hard to find around here. Total Wine got a restock of these in recently, and since I knew I was getting ready to kill that bottle, I had to go and pick up another one of the black labels. And also they had the rye, and I have not had the Origin Series rye yet, and I want to try it. I found the Frank August, small batch. I had never seen it here in Florida before. I've heard good things about it. It's a little pricey, and there's a little bit of mystery around where it's not their own distillate, so they don't make this themselves. They source it from somewhere, and there's rumors about where it may or may not be from. I'm not sure. What I do know is that it's supposed to be very good, and the bottle's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful. I mean, this and the Blanton's bottles are very, very pretty. Another random bottle that I just think is kind of funny. It's just the fat green Weller Special Reserve. I know people have a hard time finding this in some places, including Florida. This is a big one, as you can tell. I think this was like $42 out the door, something like that. It's very cheap. It's hard to find a better weeder for the price, right? It's really good stuff. I'm not even drinking, and I'm spilling water on myself. I've actually not had any smoke wagon. But I love Halloween. I love Halloween decorations and all the fun things that come along with that. And this, I had to get this, one, because I've heard good things about Smoke Wagon, right? So this isn't just some unknown whiskey that might not be any good. I've heard that this is good, and it was just a cool bottle. I'll show a picture of it. You can see it here, but it also glows in the dark, which is so cool. So I had to pick this up, and we'll see if it's good. I've heard that it is actually a really good bourbon too. This is a good one. Found North Batch 7, Found North Batch 6 is probably the best whiskey I've had all year, and I haven't had everything. So there's a lot of great bourbons and drinks out there that I have not had, but out of the ones that I have had, the Found North Batch 6 was phenomenal. I've heard Batch 7 is also just amazing. It's aged 18 years, cask strength, 131.8 proof, maturation in Hungarian oak, and it's distilled in Canada. So I know what you might be thinking, Canada whiskey. I'm telling you, this stuff, I think they sell it maybe in Central Florida. I've not actually seen it in my part of Florida. I had a friend visiting from Chicago, and I know that it's available in Chicago at Benny's still in some locations. And I was like, hey man, before you come down, if they have a batch 7, if you could pick it up and bring it for me, I would be very grateful. And he did, and I am grateful, and I cannot wait to crack this one open. I have not had the Rosé Cask Finish Penelope, part of the Cooper series, 94 proof. Not tried this one yet. It was too good of a deal to pass up. I think it was $45, which is a terrific value on this. I've heard mixed things, but I'm gonna try it and see how it is. And then this one I ordered, I don't remember, I think directly from them. And this is just for a good cause. Barrel Strength Penelope, 114 proof, private select. And the funds go to cancer research. And the bottle here, you'll see a picture of it too. So that's fuck cancer, because yes, indeed, fuck cancer. So I'm always, I love supporting a good cause like this. And, Penelope's making good stuff. They're purchased by MGP. And so, they're getting the good stuff. And I had recently a barrel strength Penelope that was phenomenal. So I have high expectations for this, but even if it's not good, the label on it is cool and it goes for a good cause. So hard to beat that. Hopefully by now you've seen the blind video I did with my buddy Riley with all the Larceny barrel proofs. If not, I will leave a link to that video so you can check it out. We had a lot of fun blinding the Larcenys. I won't spoil it, but C923 is delicious. And my buddy Riley picked this up for me along with the Elijah Craig Batch C923, which everyone's raving about. So I've had this for a little while now, and I just have not had a chance to crack it open yet. But I can't wait because the reviews are so good on this, and I think I'm gonna do a blind. I know everybody has done a review and a blind on this bottle by now. You know it's good. If you see it and you're into this, you'll get it. But I just want to do it because I think it'll be fun and delicious. And I've got all the Elijah Craig barrel proof batches from this year, so why not? And then I've also got an Elijah Craig single barrel private barrel from Ritchie's. And this is 121 proof, 10 years. I couldn't pass on that. I don't see these very often. And I bet it is very good. And this will probably be the wild card. You guys know I like to do a wild card in the blinds. I think this will probably be the wild card. See how it holds up against the barrel proof batches that they release nationwide. I got some bottles of Barrel Here, I have not had a bad bottle of Barrell yet. I very much like what they are doing. They are masterful blenders. And I'm a part of the R Bourbon mailing list. They got exclusive access to this anniversary blend, 10th anniversary blend. It's 8 years old, 112.64 proof, cask strength. Can't wait to dive into this. I've heard really good things. And then I was waiting. This one was on my list. I like some Amburana finishes. It's not a great daily thing, but for, when you're in the mood for it, Amburana finish can be very good. And this is Barrell Amburana. I have to imagine it's going to be delicious. I might do a blind on some different Amburana, different bottles, and just see what comes out on top. And I just mentioned Amburana. So I should, mention this actually wasn't purchased in October. I got this today. I found the RD1 Amburana, which people have raved about this. This has been on my list that I've been looking for. Found it, $60. I'm gonna have to pit this against the Barrell. And I've still got the red line elements and just see which of these is the best. Baker's single barrel, 7 years, minimum 7 years. And this one's actually 8 years and 10 months, 107 proof. I got this for $45, which is why I bought this, because these, I think at Total Wine, they're $75. I've seen them all over in price from $55 to $80, but $45 is the best I've seen. And I couldn't say no, especially when it's an 8 years and 10-month old. Even though it says minimum of 7, it's almost 9 years old. We've got Widow Jane Decadence. I actually found this one at Walmart for $80-something. Prior to that, I had not seen it for less than $100. I have the 2022 version. When I first opened up the 2022 bottle, I didn't love it. It was a little overly sweet, and I kind of messed up the way I did it, because I was with a friend. We were tasting a bunch of different bottles, and then some normal bourbons, and then we opened this in the middle and tried it, and that's like having a 5-course meal and the third course is cheesecake or something. It just doesn't make any sense. It didn't fit. But I've let it open up a little bit, and it's actually gotten better. It's a dessert pour, but it's really good. And again, I had not seen it for this price, and so I couldn't say no for that price. And speaking of good prices, in Walmart and Sam's Club, I went to Sam's Club and found a Russell's Reserve Private Barrel Selection, 110 proof. This one's 8 years old, and we'll see if Sam's Club got a good private barrel. It's hard to go wrong with these, and since I just guess I'm not going to find a Russell's 13 this year, I've been looking all year, can't find it, so I'm just going to have to stick with the private select, which is okay, because these are typically delicious. So we'll see how the Sam's Club pick holds up. And it's hard to, the price on this at Sam's was like $58.98 or something, so I don't know if you're going to find a cheaper bottle of Russell's Private Barrel Select anywhere either. We've got Bombergers and Shenks. I picked up the Bombergers first. It was a limit one, which I understand, which is good, which is what stores should do. Took it home. I had never had one before, cracked it open, delicious, and then decided, I'm going to go back in a few days, and if they still have the Shenks, I'm going to pick that up too. Make myself a little Shenk burger, where apparently you mix them together. It's supposed to be delicious. I have not tried the Shenks yet, but these are both Michter's special releases. Not easy to find, allocated bottles. They run a little over $100 each bottle, but if the Shenks is nearly as good as the Bombergers, which I know they're very different, so I'm not saying they'll be similar, but I have a feeling it's going to be delicious, because this one was very good. Ben Holladay, bottled in bond, the soft red wheat, and I've heard amazing things of this bottle. I wanted to get it a while back, but it sold out before I could get my hands on it, so came back in stock on Steelbox, and I grabbed a bottle, and it was still in stock the last time I checked. But I cracked open just the regular Ben Holladay bottle in bond maybe a week or two ago. It was good. It was very good. So if this is, on par with that, obviously it'll be different, but I love a good wheated bourbon. This is 6 years. They do it all themselves in Missouri. So cannot wait to crack this one open, see how it compares to other wheated bourbons. We have Knob Creek, 18 years. Yes, this has been popping up. It popped up all over town. I've seen other people online. Allocated, not cheap. 18 years, I was a little worried maybe it'll be over oaked or overaged, because that can happen with bourbons, but everything I've heard about this is that it's actually phenomenal, that it's delicious, and that it doesn't taste over oaked or any of that. So, and I love a good Knob Creek. I love Knob Creek 12 year. It's so good. So I could not turn down a chance to buy Knob Creek 18 at retail at Walmart. They had quite a few. They didn't last very long, but I was very happy to find this bottle. Jack Daniel's American Single Malt Oloroso Sherry Cask, 90 proof. This is aged in new handcrafted charred white oak barrels and finished in the finest Oloroso Sherry casks. I knew this was coming out. This is not easy to find. It's only available in duty-free shops and some Navy exchanges and Navy bases. And so my buddy Riley, again, was kind enough he knew I wanted it, and so he picked it up for me. I am excited to dig in and try this. Jack Daniel's has done basically nothing wrong. I feel like this year, everything that I've had from them has been delicious, and I have a feeling this is going to be delicious too. So really happy to have a bottle of this, and I know Bull has had this. If you're watching Bull, you told me this was good and you liked it. Mighty Fine Batch 03 2023 comes in 126.6 proof, 7 years. 1 month and 10 days. Very specific. But yeah, the Mighty Fine Batch. I have heard that it is indeed a Mighty Fine Batch. Can't wait to crack into it and try it and see how it compares to other releases. I've heard good things, so we'll find out. And last, I've got Wild Turkey Master's Keep Voyage. And so this, 10 years old, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in Jamaican rum casks. It sounded delicious, and so I wanted to try it. And I have. And it is good. And everyone who I've shared it with has also really enjoyed it. This is a great whiskey. It really is. The problem is the price. It's so expensive. It's not worth $275. I wouldn't buy it again for that price. As beautiful as the packaging is and the bottle is, and the cork is the heaviest cork I've ever held. It's amazing. The package is beautiful. The juice inside this bottle is fantastic. Man, if this were like $150, I would be thrilled with it. I'd be very happy. $275 is too much. It just is. And I get it. You know, Wild Turkey is trying some things out with their pricing right now, and it's hard to blame them. You know, the secondary market's crazy. The bourbon, you know, is, I think, still in a bit of a boom phase where, you know, people, you know, until that secondary market dies down, this is just the way things are going. But man, their pricing, I've got a long list of bourbons that I want. I had to make a note on that list to not buy the Russell's Reserve Single Rickhouse that I know is starting to release. Even if I see it, I gotta not do it. It's too much, $300, too much. And then the Generations that is coming out is like $500. And I had to make a note, just do not buy these. They're not worth it, to me. To others, they may be worth it, but to me, they're not. I'm sure they're delicious and great, but they've priced me out at this point because it's just there comes a point of diminishing returns where it doesn't make sense anymore, right? And I found that point here with this one where I like it, but I would not do it again. So I'm just telling you, if you're still curious like me and you got to get it, I get it, I understand, but I would not recommend it. As good as it is, this is quite the month. I know this was a big haul. It's fall, and there's a lot of great releases coming out right now. We got Buffalo Trace, the Antique Collection. I mean, all the great allocated bottles that are impossible to find are coming out, but there's also a ton of great stuff, as you can tell. I mean, I picked up all these things in the past month or so. There's always another bottle to get, and always, anytime I see a unicorn bottle or something, that'll be a buy on site, and there are plenty others that I want, but it'll be slowing down a little bit. I've got a nice stockpile. I got a lot of videos that I want to put out. I'm sorry for the past month or so. The releases have been pretty slow, but I'm going to get back on track and we're going to have a nice consistent schedule. So leave me a comment. Let me know if you want me to review any of these bottles, if there are any blinds you want to see, if you have any other ideas for videos or things you want to see, leave a comment, let me know. Thank you guys for still being here, for coming and watching the video. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one.